Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to TCR Trinity Competitive Racing Season 10. We are round 2 for the silver class here at the circuit here in Shanghai, China. The drivers are out on track starting their flying laps and qualifying. I'm 007 Skywalker, and I'm joined today by Broomhandle in the commentary box. Broomhandle, how are you doing? And it's good to be back, man, after a week of racing. Last week we had Bahrain, tonight we have China.
Yeah, phenomenal race here today at the Shanghai International Circuit. So many places to have great overtaking opportunities, great chances to have phenomenal racing with so many talented drivers out there. And as you said, great to be back here. Of course, Bahrain, a thrilling race that we saw with many drivers getting up onto the top. Rex with that dominant one-stop strategy going first position. And then we had that D-Swish going from the back of the field in qualifying, having that horrible qualifying. And then getting up into, I do believe, second position in the race. A fantastic performance. And then we had Bamboo in the Renault car rounding out the top three. So we had a phenomenal race here there at Bahrain. Now here at China for round number 2 is looking to be a phenomenal race.
Absolutely, I'm really excited. It seems to be pretty sunny, a little, clouds in the air. Who knows, it may rain in China. I'm actually hoping for rain. I think it'll give the drivers quite a challenge, but here we are in China. We have 16 turns, 16 quite challenging turns, actually. We have the TCR lap record of a 130.056, set by Go-To Guy 102 back in Season 7 for Round 1. Tonight is a 50% distance with the 28 laps, as we see Fire Up Flow just starting his lap, or just finishing. But yeah, all the drivers out on track. I think it's going to be a good one. Just talking about the drivers' standings from last week, we have in P1, we have Pazosaurix Rex with 25 points. He was the race winner last week in Bahrain, followed closely by D-Swish, who barely missed out on the 2-stop with 18 points. Third place, we have Bamboo with 15. F1 Racer, who was last season's Season 9 champion with 13 points, followed closely behind by Blinn Machine, Season 9's runner-up in Season 9. Then we have the 2 Alfa Romeos of Motor City and Laza with 8 points and 6 points respectively. Shokadia in P8 with 4 points, followed by Fire Up Flow with 2 points, and Got Any Weeb with 1 point in P10. The constructors' standings stands with McLaren in first place with 28 points, but the Haas team of Rex and Juan are in second place with 25 points. Renault is in third with 15. 1 point behind is Alfa Romeo with 14. Another point behind them is the Racing Point team. Then it drops quite substantially down to the Williams team with 4 points, Mercedes with 3 points, and then the 3 teams without any points, failing to score last week at all, are the AlphaTauri, the Red Bull, and the Ferrari team. So they'll be looking to put themselves on the map today and put themselves top 10.
Yeah, as you're saying, standings is looking really good for just the first round at Bahrain. And as you said, China, they're going to want to have a good result here, especially the teams that did not score in the championship as well as the drivers last time out. And of course, championship won't be decided until the very last round when it comes to the very last round of the championship here at Season 10. But yeah, going to constructor standings for a second. McLaren, what a performance of their 2 drivers last time out at Bahrain. D-Swish and Blinn, and I think what's got them into those phenomenal positions and in the lead of the championship was their consistency during the race. Finishing in such high positions for both of those drivers got McLaren, their team, up to the top of the table. I also have to say Alfa Romeo had a strong performance in Bahrain. Both their drivers kind of struggled every once in a while at the start of the race, and they had a few issues. I do believe Motor City spun at turn 12 at the Bahrain Grand Prix, if I remember correctly. But they eventually finished in high positions and got a double-point scoring with some good, strong positions. So they're up in the championship as well. And, of course, Haas with Rex winning that race was phenomenal to secure those 25 points for Haas F1. So those teams are going to want to extend at the top. And also, all the drivers that didn't score any points that we mentioned before, and teams, of course, they're going to want to score some good points here today.
Yeah, absolutely. I was just looking at the quali times, and right now we have Shokadia, who's putting in a really good showing with the 130.0 as the drivers are all coming in to put on their new set of shoes. 130.0 with YBN Steven, 130.3 in second, and then Bamboo in third with 130.6. I kind of expect the times to be probably in the 129s, maybe mid 129s, but last week in qualifying was actually quite close. So we'll see what happens as the Racing Point. They're double stacking, trying to get their cars inside.
Yeah, you're talking about like positioning for the times there. You were saying also last time out we had a close battle for the qualifying here and the race itself for times. But yeah, it was really incredible at Bahrain. Hopefully we have that same thing here today. You were saying 129, mid 29. I definitely have to agree with that. I'd say with this much competitiveness with all these drivers here today, I'm thinking a 129. That's probably where around there. At the moment, Shoka D does have that fastest lap of the 130 point dead there, and just behind is Steven, just 3/10 behind. So you were saying, yeah, it's going to be an interesting battle for the qualifying here with 8 minutes to go. Williams head with Red Bull, so they're looking to get some great points with both of those teams.
Yeah, Blinn here is on his flying lap, I believe, just coming onto the back straight now. We'll see what he can do. He didn't really have a good showing last week in qualifying. I think qualified P8, and then by the first lap, he's down to P11. So I think qualifying is definitely an Achilles heel for him. He's looking to improve on that, though, from what he said earlier, as he runs just slightly deep into that hairpin, but he gets a good run out. And I see a lot of drivers, like we see the top 6 on the red marked soft tire, and then below that, everybody is on the medium tire. So I think if you can qualify on the medium and put yourself inside the top 10, that's going to be really good for the race as he pulls over. As we have, I think that's a Williams of...
I do believe that is Coleman in the number...
Yep, you're right.
His card. Oh, yeah, that is Coleman. He's in last place at the moment.
Yep,
and
so starting
Blinn
his flying...
ninth.
Yeah, Blinn did go 9th, especially on that medium tire. But I think the majority of the field are actually going to put on that soft tire, and we'll see what they can do. But let's ride on board with Coleman and see what he can do for his first flyer, or maybe his second flyer, since he did put on that soft tire. Pretty nicely controlled so far, I have to say.
I do have to say, yeah, Coleman's really doing it well, especially through that section right there, a very tight section, and then you come down to this heavy braking zone as well. He's doing very good. He's at that purple sector in Sector 2.
Yeah, and then this exit here, I want to talk about this exit onto the back straight. If you get on that power too early, you can just spin yourself right around. So there's 2 spots on this track where I think is really tough. At least I'm having trouble with that. The place that Coleman just exited, that long right-hander onto the back straight, and then the turn 1, 2, and 3 complex where it starts right, it kind of tightens up, and then it just releases out onto that short burst into that tight hairpin, which I think is turn 4, turn 5. Coleman coming to the line. Let's see what he can do. P4. Wow.
That's a lap. Only about 6/10 behind the race leader, and that's
Absolutely.
his teammate as well. Williams looking strong.
For sure. Oh, we got a traffic jam with Shoka D and a Ferrari. I think the lone Ferrari of the same TJ.
And he's heading in the pits too.
Yeah. So hopefully that doesn't hurt him too much. Shoka D did improve by 0.05 of a second. So I wonder if he did actually get impeded by that Ferrari. We'll have to maybe check that out a bit later. F1 Racers.
Extend that advantage. Oh,
sorry. Yeah, I was going to say F1 Racer is on the back straight. I believe he's going to start his flying lap because he has 90% ERS. He has those red mark soft tires on. He did his first lap, a 133.9 on the medium tire. So not a great lap. I think maybe a banker lap. But we'll see what the Season 9 champion can do now as he comes around the last corner. Get a really good slingshot out. Nice line. Let's ride on board with him. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, he's just coming through turn 1 now. Very nice section right here. You got to turn the car, turn the steering wheel as much as possible, shift down to about 2nd gear, shift back up to about 3rd, maybe shift back down to 2nd place or 2nd gear there. And then we come through turn 4, another long turn here. Got much onto the power now as you come down into a little bit of turn number 5. On the power as much as you can and shift down into the heavy braking zone in turn number 6. You can make dive bombs as Daniel Ricciardo proved on Valtteri Bottas in 2018, making that winning move as he comes down F1 Racer into those long turns here of turn number 7 and turn number 8.
So far, so good. I think he was running quite wide in the turn 1, turn 2, turn 3 complex, really making those tires scream. So we'll see if he has enough temperature, enough grip in these tires to last for the last sector. Heavy brake into here, and then this part is really, really important to get on the power as soon as you can, maximize the tire grip, stay kind of on the inside, but he chooses to actually kind of run wide. So there's different lines that different drivers take through that last or that long right-hander complex as he opens up the DRS, and he only has 2 corners to go. Heavy braking. See how late he wants to brake. About the 110 meter board, which is nice. Hooks up the apex, gets on the power. Tad bit of wheel spin, but controls it nicely. Let's see how he takes this last corner here. And he aborts. Interesting. So he must have felt like it just wasn't a good lap. Maybe he was just losing some time.
And he may have gone for the strategy. Many drivers have done this in a lot of leagues that I've commentated in, and I'm sure you've noticed this as well, that drivers like to start at the back of the field as well in case there's some calamity at the start of the race. You were talking about those turns, the turn 1, turn 2, turn 3 complex, and the long turn of turn number 13, I do believe. I've noticed about this track is there is a ton of long turns here. You have to turn the steering wheel as much as possible and put on the power as much as possible as well, while some of these turns also have braking. That turn 1, turn 2, and 3 complex right there, you have to brake as much as possible while turning and shifting at the same time. And then, of course, the last, that turn 13 turn, you have to put on the gas, shift up, and turn the car to complete right as much as possible. So there's a lot of turns here that you have to be able to have quick power and quick, a lot of grip and a lot of control over the traction, and also make sure that you're turning that steering wheel as much as possible.
Whoa, that was beautiful by Rex. You see that braking was on point. That apex was, I don't think you could get a better apex than that. As he also pits. Okay, interesting. So it looks like some drivers, maybe they were just not maximizing the tire grip through Sector 3. They're putting all of it on Sector 1 and 2. This track is actually quite notorious for being harsh on the softer tire. So if you can, again, if you can qualify on the medium tire, and still be inside the top 10, that'll be benefit for you. Let's watch Motor City. Motor City is currently in P8 right now with a 131.2. If he's on the soft tire, I do expect him to be well into the 130s. So we'll see what he's got. But it seems like a lot of people are they're struggling. Being Sector 3, they're not getting that run out of that turn 13, which you can gain up to 2-3 tenths. You can also lose up to 2 or 3 tenths on that. But he's coming through what we call the S section here in China. Puts it down in 4th gear, staying nice and tight, which is the preferred line. And then this one's really hard just to get the power down. But pretty good so far. As he's already 2 tenths up.
And a purple sector, Sector 2 as well. That's pretty impressive. He's looking to possibly get top 3, maybe even pole position here, as that was Sector 2, purple sector. He's just coming through that long straight here. One of the longest straights in the Formula 1 calendar, alongside straights like Azerbaijan's Baku or Vietnam's long straight. That's kind of a turn as well. But heavy
Mexico as well.
Turn number 14. And Mexico as well. Long straights like that do include here at China. But coming down to turn 14, a little bit of a turn for turn number 15, and then that sharp turn number 16. Make sure not to get too much on that curb to the right of you, as you can fall quite a lot with an invalid lap. Motor City does the 6th fastest. What a lap there. He now, I do believe, retires from the session, though, as he's pulling off. Or no, just lets the car behind. But did he lose a little bit of time in certain sectors or something like that? Now he does retire from the session. But
yeah.
He does finish 6th.
I'm not sure. I'm just looking at the positions from P4, P5, and P6. They're all with 130.6, but only separated by, I think, 0.06 of a second. So that's pretty close with that. I want to see, let's see, the top 10. So 10th place is D-Swish with the 131.8 on the medium tire. But he got all the guys behind him going to try to push themselves into the top 10. On board now with Dorian Alpha, who did finish in P3. No, he didn't. He finished outside the top 10 last week in Bahrain, looking to have a slightly better race, hopefully, inside the top 10 this week. So far, he's doing well. He's in the top 10 and P7 at the moment. And we only have, well, qualifying is over, but drivers are putting in their final flying laps. So we'll see some positions change, I'm sure, as a Haas is stopped a little bit, end of Sector 2, but gets going again.
And I do believe just ahead of Dorian is F1 Racer, who we quickly have to mention here. Purple sector, Sector 2. I think he came in to get fresher tires earlier on. He's looking for pole position here. Down in 17th position, looking to get ahead of a lot of these guys. What's his lap going to be here? He comes across the line.
P10.
10th place.
Only P10, and I feel bad for saying only P10, but we got to understand this guy is Season 9's Silver Class champion, and the best lap he can do on the soft tire is only P10 with a 131.5. So he's either struggling or just wasn't able to hook together a lap on 2 or 3 of his attempts. So that's one person to watch during the race to see if he can make his way up the grid, past some of the other guys, and have another good result. He finished in P4 last week. So we'll see what he can do today in the race. And who knows, if it rains, that's going to throw everything up in the air as well. As we have, I think, Rex is done. Looks like everybody's done. So this is our starting order. I mean, Shokadi is in P1. He actually did dip into the 129s. He did a 129.6. Is that a 6 or an 8? I can't see that.
That is a 6, I do believe. The 129.625. Wow. A very impressive lap, by the way, because no one else has gone into that 129 that we predicted. Both of us did predict that they would probably go for that mid 129s. Shokadi is the only one to go into the 129. So taking pole position for Williams F1, I think Williams would be very proud if it was real F1 if they took pole position here today. But of course, this is virtual world, and Williams looked really strong, especially with their 2 drivers. First and fourth, Coleman's lap was very impressive, going P4. Bamboo in the Renault car, second place, only a 130 point dead there. And then YBN Steven in the Red Bull car finishes in third. And we also have to talk about D Swish as well. His performance in Bahrain was really good, going from the back of the grid all the way up to second place in the race. Think if he starts fifth, could he win the race? It's very possible. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think it's possible. I think D Swish maybe has like a card up his sleeve or something with strategy. He did have an alternate strategy last week with a 2-stop and almost gave Rex a run for his money. Rex running the 1-stop, but yeah, D-Swish only finished a few tenths behind. So he'll be one to watch as well. But yeah, my focus is on F1 Racer. I'm a bit surprised. I mean, again, he was last season's Silver Class champion. He had 4 wins, 9 podiums, and then also Coleman in a solid P4 for qualifying. He did finish in P18 last season in the Golden Class, but had quite a few of DNFs and some life stuff got in the way, so wasn't able to finish some of the races. But he is back with a vengeance in Silver Class and looking to really make a statement. I think Coleman is one to watch as well. So we got Shokadia P1 just running down the order, Bamboo P2, YBN Steven putting a good performance in P3, Coleman in the Williams P4, D-Swish P5, Lajo P6, Motor City, pretty solid performance in P7, Dorian Alpha P8, Rex, our race winner from last week, finishing only in P9 in quali, got any Weeb in P10, and then we have F1 Racer, who actually did get bumped down to P11, and then the rest of the drivers, P12 on down, didn't get a chance to see them, but we'll see them during the formation lap. Now the thing is it going to rain? Is it going to rain?
Now, that's the possibility. I mean, there's a possibility that it could rain. Of course, we have 5 different compounds here. The soft tire is, of course, the fastest tire, the red striped tire. Medium tire is mostly used for strategies here, as that is the medium tire. We mostly use that in strategies. And then the hard tire, of course, is the long-distance tire. But like you said, rain, we got to talk about those tires as well. Intermediate tires, the light rain-conditioned tires, of course, the green striped tires. If it's going to be light conditions rain, we're going to see the intermediate tires. If it's heavier, then we'll probably see a wet tire, which is the blue stripe tire. If it does rain, do you think that could affect a lot of these drivers? And we also have to remember, this is TCR's first time, or first season actually, on 2020. Mm-hmm. So do you think it's going to be maybe a little bit of difficulty if it rains, or even if it doesn't rain, for some of these drivers to get used to the 2020 game? Of course, it's been out for quite a bit, but it could result in some different driving from some of these guys. Maybe that's why F1 Racer's kind of struggling out there, as maybe he's used to the 2019 game, and there's a little bit of a difference with the 2020 game.
Yeah, I think so. And I've been playing F1 games for quite a while, since F1 2010, and even before that on PS3 and PC. So I'm still trying to get used to this one, but it is completely different than F1 2019, even F1 2018. So drivers that maybe seem to have the pace in 2019 maybe are struggling to find their pace and find their feet here in 2020. Drivers that were struggling last year in 2019 or 2018, myself included, might be faring better off in this game. So it's all preference on kind of what the drivers want with traction, the feel. There is a better feel, I think, with this game. Like, you feel more connected to the track. The tire model, I think, is better. Still improving, every year with Codemasters in their physics. But I think this year is definitely one of the best F1 games, if not the best F1 game that they've produced. And I think a lot of drivers enjoy that. I mean, I was on for hours last night practicing, and I cannot say that since probably 2012, 2013, back in the day. So I'm really enjoying myself, and it seems like a few drivers are definitely doing that as well. There's like a fine limit to that as well. But yeah, the drivers are on the formation lap. It's really sunny. I don't think it's going to rain, but obviously it's F1 and it's Codemasters game, so it could rain within a few minutes. I think we saw that silver class in USA last season. But here we have the predicted pit stop strategy. I was thinking that it would be the one stop, actually. Going from soft to hard would be the preferred strategy, but the game is telling us the preferred strategy is a two stop. So I expect all the soft drivers, or the drivers with the soft tires, to go to lap 5, 6. I don't see anybody really pushing to lap 7. So lap 5 to 7 would be our pit stop window. Probably, I mean, if they go in the medium tire, they're going to be going for a two-stop, obviously. If they go for the hard tire, it's up to them. They could be going for a one-stop or a two-stop. So let's look for that in the strategy. But you see all the drivers, that's a really cool shot, just weaving back and forth down that back straight, getting ready to go, getting their tire temps up. So, yeah, I'm ready.
Yeah, it's really cool, all those drivers weaving down the front straight. Of course, they want to get heat into the tires to make sure that you get a good start, put in the clutch, put in the clutch, all that sort of thing, and start getting ready to go. But yeah, tire strategy is something that we definitely have to consider here. Two-stop strategy seems to be the best opportunity, but for drivers, the half of the grid down from 11th, from F1 Racer all the way down, I think they're maybe going to go for that one-stop strategy, mediums to hards, maybe pit around maybe lap 15, lap 14, where you want to pit, then pit to the hard tires. Of course, we have to think about safety car as well. That could come into play, but we'll have to see how that goes. I'm looking at the drivers just coming up for the formation lap. I'll quickly do the start of the race real quick.
Oh, and also get your predictions in. If you're watching the chat, if you're watching the stream, thank you so much for watching. Put in your predictions. Nelsie Baby has gotten Shokadia P1, D-Swish P2, and Steven in P3. So thanks for your predictions. We're about to start. Take it away.
All right, 5 red lights out here today at the Chinese Grand Prix for round number 2. And it's lights out, and away we go. Shokadia, great start. So the Renault, the Bamboo, already up, possibly second place. The Alfa Romeo is a little bit of contact, looks like a little bit of glitch back in the field. Steven looking to go around the outside of it, the second place driver, Bamboo there.
Alfa Romeo off.
There's an Alfa off the track. That is the Alfa Romeo off the track. It looks like a Racing Point went off the track as well, way down to the field. A lot of drivers moving up some positions. Almost 3 wide. It looks like Steven almost went off the track. A lot of drivers have to avoid. There's contact and there's a massive crash. It looks like Dorian Alpha out of the race.
Yeah, and the Haas makes contact with Coleman. That's Rex our race winner last week, making contact with the Coleman. Hopefully no wing damage there. But Bamboo actually got the run on Shokadia and now is running P1.
And I was look at this real quick. I wanted to explain something real quick. D-Swish, we were talking about early on in the qualifying that he's got the pace from Bahrain, went from the back of the grid already up to second place. Now in this race, he's already at the third. What can he do from there? McLaren looking really strong. Blinn already up to 8th position. Rex did have some contact. Did he have problems? And does he have wing damage to that? Doesn't look like he does, but that's possible if he does have the wing damage. And it might hurt his tires quite a bit as well. We'll have to see how that works out. But Bamboo did get that race lead, as you said, and also Shoka D must have got up there as well. That looks to be also an AlphaTauri of Jen, going.
Sorry to interrupt, but Steven's going around the outside of D-Swish on the hairpin. Is he going to make? No, it goes for the undercut, but doesn't make it work.
This might put Coleman all over the back of Steven as well, which is interesting. This might be very interesting. Look at this, Rex also getting up some pace as well. So this is going to be really interesting going forward.
Yeah, so the big winners from lap 1, oh my gosh, the Racing Point going quite wide. You got to watch that F1 Racer. But the big winners is Blinn Machine up into, is that seriously P4? 11 places up? Or is that just
that is a glitch.
Yeah, I was going to say, because he's still behind a Mercedes, but I think it was up to P7 or P8. But he gained, I think, 7 positions. Big losers, I think, on the first lap would be Shokadia. Is he? No, he's still up in P2. It's just, try to reform at the timing, so we'll have to wait a little bit. As we have a yellow flag in Sector 1, hopefully not a safety car, but that is Red Bull around. Enrique BC seems to have spun, and he just gets back on track nicely there. But I already have also an AlphaTauri pitting as well. I think that's Jen Zafrix. I don't know how to say that. I'm so sorry, but Gen X has pit. But back
Yeah,
to the
he has
front, my
pit.
gosh.
Yeah, and that AlphaTauri in the Motor City as well, Alfa Romeo. It does say they are in first and second, but that will reshuffle as it does. That is a
Right.
glitch on the first few laps. So, and oh my goodness, look at this. Steven going to the inside at turn number 13 on D-Swish. Oh my goodness, what a move by the Red Bull. D-Swish comes back though. Look at this. With the straight line speed of that Renault engine, the McLaren has passed the Red Bull once again, but Steven's not giving this up. He still has to face kind of a squeeze as well. And he's going to back out of that. It looks like tries to get a better exit off that corner.
Pushes
and,
him wide.
He does push him wide there.
Oh, they're still going too wide, though, in the last corner.
Looks like he's going to back out, though. Steven does back out of D-Swish. Rex all over the back of him as well, though.
Yeah, what a crazy first two laps so far. So a few drivers definitely lost out, possibly with some wing damage. We know that AlphaTauri of Gen X had to pit already, so he's already on a compromised strategy. But the first two guys, I think it was Bamboo and Shokadia. They're already, 2.5 seconds in front of everybody. I think they avoided some of the carnage that happened in turn 1, turn 2. Just a lot of position change, which is crazy. But Blinn Machine is probably the biggest winner. I mean, he's up 8 positions from where he started. I don't know how that man did that, but kudos to him because that's a heck of a drive so far. He's got to just keep calm, kind of recollect his thoughts, maybe take a breath, in and out, and then just keep it going. But he's already looking great for a much better race this week compared to last week.
McLaren did have a phenomenal race back at Bahrain, but now looks to be even better as both of the drivers really up the table, as you said. So really looking to be a phenomenal race going forward. But yeah, as you said, the top two have kind of spread out over the rest of the field. A almost 3-second gap to D-Swish behind. So that's a pretty big gap to climb back. But the drivers behind are going to want to close that up. One driver in particular who I'm mentioning here is Rex. Last week's race winner, looking to overtake some of these guys. It's actually, speaking of overtaking, Steven looking for the inside move on D-Switch. A little bit of the corner cut there, but that's okay. That is part of
He lets it go. He lets it go. So he actually lost some time there.
He did lose that time. Rex is now all over the back as well, so this might prevent Steven from getting a good result. Goes on the grass there. That puts Rex all over the back.
Looking down the inside.
Inside, you don't expect moves around there. That you're absolutely correct. Inside is not the way to go, but he does
the
make
Red Bull.
it work.
Steven's holding around the outside.
He
and
can't,
then
though. He
backs
doesn't have
off,
enough
yeah.
pace. Oh, he's looking
right
to
there.
make the move.
Ooh.
Oh, and there's with contact. There's almost contact.
And then you got any weave of the Mercedes going around the outside of Steven. He's trying to take opportunity of that, and
Steven's looking
Careful,
for the inside
boys.
move. Can't yet, though. Does Steven have some sort of damage or something like that? Because he's losing a lot of time to some of these guys. I think he just got poor exits out of a lot of these corners, but he's already down to 6 now.
Well, I think so. I think he went from being the attacker to being attacked, and I think he wanted to make up a position. He ended up losing 2 right there. Is he? He's really good on the entries. I think as the Mercedes, got to watch that. Got any weave going slightly wide there, but doesn't really gain anything, so that's okay. But
no
wow,
contact.
That's definitely wing damage. If it wasn't before.
There was contact. Yep, that might have hurt his race quite a bit. He went into the back
fire
and
flow going down the inside on turn 13 on Blinn. That's bold. That is bold.
Rex did it. Now Fireflow does it too. Wow, what a move! And what a crazy overtakes that we've been seeing from all these guys. I'm just shuffling through every single.
And the Mercedes goes right into the Red Bull. He misses breaking point for sure, and I think Steven got quite a big shock there, just seeing a Mercedes just come into picture. Steven pits.
And he's pitting. So does Blinn, though.
Blinn pits.
That's interesting. Did he have damage to that? Maybe when they were going side by side with Fire Up Flow, did Blinn get damage to that? I don't think so, but that's
possibly
interesting.
Yeah, we got to see what tires are going to go on. So keep an eye on Blinn and Steven. We're going to see if we can get that on the stream.
And Coleman just made a fantastic move on Same TJ into that long turn there. And Same almost loses it there too. That's exactly. But yeah, for the tires though, it looks like Blinn went on the softs, which is very interesting.
Absolutely.
So a definite 2-stop there for the McLaren car.
Yeah, I would just say he got an absolutely fantastic start. If that's not a glitch, I'm not sure. But the medium tires were only 4 laps, and putting on the soft tires is probably not the preferred strategy, probably not the way to go here around China, just being a very abrasive track. But I'm not sure if that was wing damage, and
And he makes the move.
Coleman had a bit of a moment and lost the position to TJ and F1 Racer. Unfortunately, I think he just got wide. Really good save by him, because that could have ended in disaster and probably could have taken out a few cars. But let's go back up to the front, because we've kind of missed these guys a little bit because of all the action down in the midfield. But Bamboo is leading Shokadia for the lead of the race, but Shokadia is only 4/10 behind. So let's see if he can get the DRS coming onto the front straight. What a wonderful camera angle, but quite odd, to be honest.
Yeah, I quite like that as well.
Yeah.
Nice camera angle. Shokadia all over the back of that Renault now, but I just don't think he has enough pace to keep up, and that's happened a lot with what I've been seeing throughout many races that I've been seeing on here. Some drivers, they just can't, they close up so much to the driver ahead, but just can't close up enough to make the move, and I see that's kind of what's going on with Shokadia. He just closes up to Bamboo, but just can't make the move quite yet because he just doesn't have enough. Maybe if he had maybe one more second, maybe two even, he could make the move. It's that close. So we'll have to see how that goes. F1 Racer moves up to 8th place. Looks like he just made a move into turn number 6, possibly 5. Did you see where he made that move? But he's now up into 8th.
Yeah, I'm on board here. Well, not on board, but we're watching Lazo, because Lazo is behind the 2 Mercedes, and he's on the softer tires, so the tires right now are probably screaming, because those soft tires can only last, as we know, 4 or 5 or 6 laps. So look for Lazo to be making a pit stop on this lap as the 2 Mercedes are battling it out. I'm not sure if they want to be doing that, just try to play the team game and make some places up, move their way up to D-Swish. But actually a good camera angle here. Just looking at the angle of the turn on turn 13 is actually quite abrupt. And for these cars to go flat out through there is quite impressive, as the F1 Racer takes evasive maneuvers. I think he almost lost it coming out of that turn 13, and he just lost the position to TJ, which he made up the previous lap into turn 1. So now he's lost actually 2 positions to TJ
John
and
as well.
Juan. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Haas getting slightly into the back of the Ferrari, so got to watch that there.
A lot of guys are pitting now. This is pit strategies coming in for these soft tires now. The 2 race leaders, D-Swish, Donnie Weeb, Lazo, and many more will be pitting this lap. Rex now leads. Fire Up Flow now is in 2nd place. Same TJ 3rd, and Juan in 4th, and F1 Racer.
Shokadia, he got held, but he didn't, so he's actually right behind Bamboo, so no position changed there. So they come out just status quo. So they'll carry on their merry battle. Yeah, absolutely.
Strategy is a big thing, because you got to think about it. I mean, it's not just the driver doing this, it's the team as well. For instance, Red Bull Racing and Williams, in fact, both of their teams have incredible pit stops, and that could change the entire race as it is. I mean, Red Bull, they broke the pit stop record, I do believe, at Spain just last time out with a 1.9 second pit stop. I do believe it was for Max Verstappen. And Red Bull, I mean, Red Bull did that in the real world. Could they do that in virtual world? I mean, some of these pit stops could change the change the face of the entire race itself. So really interesting.
I wish they could, because I'm getting tired of my 2.6 second pit stops every single time. I don't know if that's me or if that's just the game, but I cannot get lower than 2.6 seconds on this game. As we see a really, really good battle between Steven and Blinn. Blinn on those softer tires, so obviously going to have the advantage on the guys ahead. Yeah, just coming around the turn 13er, but quite a train, and Steven taking a very narrow line, trying to get a good run. That seemed to actually work for him. Look how much...
That did work out.
Yeah, look how much Steven actually got up to Any Weeb. Yellow flag in Sector 3. That's Coleman, I think.
Coleman. Yep, he spun at turn number 13. I think there's a lot of problems with that turn right there, and you got to make sure not to put on the power too early, as your tires are very hot. So, he's going to have to move. He's going to have to be able to maybe pit for some new wing. We'll have to see how that works out. But major battles, like you said, between 9th down and also the battle for 5th position. Shokadia is, oh my goodness, what a move! What a move by Shokadia into turn 4 on Robin Hood. Robin went really wide, now comes back at him to around the outside. Is he going to go for it? Goes very late in that section. Looks like Shokadia.
Where'd Robin go? Oh, there he is. I was going to say, he's going to stick it around the outside and just goes completely off the track. I was like, well, he's He's taking a very interesting line, but yeah, what a move from Shokadi. That was really good. We also got to watch the top four. We've got F1 Racer, Juan, TJ, and Fire Up Flow yet to make their pit stops. Obviously, they're on the medium tire, so the alternate strategy. So they're probably going to go to lap 11. Lap 11 would be the ideal time to pit onto the hard tire. So one stop for those guys who could actually spoil the party of some of the guys at the front. So the one stop versus the two stop, we'll see what happens. Bamboo and Shokadi might be going for the one stop because they are on the hard tire now, which can last quite a long time, especially on this track. Not the fastest of tires, but definitely the most durable. So we'll see what happens there.
And F1 Racer did get past Juan there in the Haas car, so Racing Point showing that they have the pace with F1 Racer 85 in that Racing Point car, of course. And so he's closing up to same TJ now. That will be an interesting battle to see how that works out. He's looking to get ahead of these guys, but we'll have to see how that works out. Shokadi, the battle for 5th position, technically be the lead when everyone else pits. This is continuing on as it has most of the entire race, but I think it's still exactly what has been happening the entire race. He just doesn't have enough time to be able to get past that Renault, and unfortunately that's lost a lot of time out of drivers behind. Rex closing in on the battle too. This is going to be interesting for that Haas team car. We'll have to see how that works out for Rex. And he's also got D-Switch closing in on himself as well, and Steven. So this is going to be a really interesting fight when it comes down to these final few laps of this Grand Prix.
Absolutely. We just have an AlphaTauri pitting. Coleman retired in the pit lane, so that should not bring out a safety car. If you do retire, make sure it is inside the pit lane. We don't want any bogus safety cars coming out. But I think that's an AlphaTauri coming into the pits, and that is Gen X, just making his routine pit stop. Something I do want to bring up, though, is the track limits. So we are running, as Coleman left, just not having the race that he wants tonight. So talking about the track limits. Last week in Bahrain, we ran regular corner cutting, but we laid out specific corners that were strict and that the drivers couldn't, obviously abuse, because regular corner cutting in this game is, you can abuse it on certain tracks, certain corners. But we were proud to say that all three classes, silver, golden, and platinum, did follow the track limits that we set out. Very minimal incidents, and it provided for some really, really good, excellent racing. I think we're seeing the same here today. We've seen a few drivers go wide at turn, I believe it's 10. Some drivers going wide at turn 13 slightly. But those would normally be, as Mercedes gets a really poor run out of that's got any, as Blend just sneaks up the inside, makes up another position, so he's going quite nicely. But turn 13, which we're coming up to right now, or 16, sorry, you cannot put your tires past the red and white curbs, but you can go in the red and white curbs, as we've seen many drivers do that before. So I think it provides for some really good racing, and I think the drivers do appreciate that. Obviously, the drivers have to follow those rules and have the respect for one another and the respect for the track limits. But it seems to be working, and I think the battling and I think the racing has been absolutely fantastic.
It definitely has, and I mean, other leagues can also benefit from this. I mean, we saw at Bahrain that, as you said, that were really, really good. They managed the corner cutting very well. Were able to stay in the lines that were suggested, and so it really worked out. So I think other leagues can definitely benefit from this. I mean, leagues like CSR, we have strict corner cutting, and of course it is a great thing. But I mean, regular corner cutting is, in my opinion, a little bit more easier, a little bit more funner to deal with. So maybe that could be used in that manner. So something to consider for other leagues as well. So it's really working out here.
Oh, TJ going defensive. Sorry to cut you off there. But F1 Racer about to go around the outside. Can he make it? He's going for it.
Shokadi also on a move on Bamboo. He's finally done it as Blind's off the track. Something happened to Blind. Sorry to interrupt all that battling.
No, you're fine. Yeah, Blind's off the track. Shokadi made a fantastic move, but I don't think did he get past? He almost got past, but Bamboo is still ahead. But Shokadi, watch the defending. He's going to try to go around the outside.
Oh my goodness, Shokadi makes the move on Bamboo possibly, and side by side, oh my goodness, into that tight section.
Just did not have the tire grip though to make it stick. I'm telling you, those hard tires, it's a great race tire, but it's not a good battling tire.
It definitely is not.
And especially with the dirty air on this game, I feel like if you have if you are behind somebody, whoops, wrong way. If you're going behind somebody on the hard tire, it just makes it all the more difficult to make that pass because you just don't have the grip and the tires start to overheat. The dirty air is very intense on this game, as well as the overtake button, as we've discovered before. Some drivers really abusing the overtake button. I've seen somebody just a few moments ago already at 5% on their overtake button. Some drivers are still at 80% as the Haas gets slightly wide there.
Starting to interrupt you.
TJ, right?
TJ off the track. Same TJ off the track. Something happened there. I think he just got too much on the power into the little turn 10 there, and just got too much on the curb as well and spun it. And I think that's really hurt his race. Looks like he doesn't have any damage, though. He should be able to continue on. But, okay, real quick. Juan and F1 Racer now going to start holding up Bamboo. This is the perfect time for Shoka D to make the move. Now that these guys are holding up that Renault car, he can slot in and take this to his advantage.
Yes, absolutely. And he's probably going to be looking for a spot to exploit that because those two drivers in front are not pitting anytime soon. Well, actually, I say that, and Juan is into the pits, probably going to put on the hard tire and go to the end. So he'll drop down the field a little bit. But Shoka D, I mean, this is his opportunity. If he doesn't do it now, I'm not sure if he'll be able to do it the rest of the race unless Bamboo makes a mistake. But so far, these two drivers are just having the pace of the class. Sorry, whatever the saying is. But they're the class of the field at this point in time. Really good to watch. So. But,
yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see how this plays out. I mean, and as you said, this is his one chance to overtake Bamboo. And as you said, the class of the field, definitely. These two have been pulling off an incredible show. And both of these drivers have not won in this season yet. Of course, Rex is the only driver that has won. And we can't count out Rex for the win as well. He's on a charge. He's on a mission to bring home that double victory. So he has the ability to continue on and get that race win here today and get that double race win, become the double race winner here at China and to continue leading the championship. We'll have to see how that goes. Looks like Tafur may have had a spin there at turn number 16. A little bit of a issue there.
He may have pulled a Hamilton from 2008 or 2007.
2007, yeah, that is correct.
Yeah.
And real quick,
Bamboo's got a really good run on F1 Racer.
Exactly, Bamboo just makes the move on F1 Racer. Shoka D, this is his one chance. He has to get the move on F1 Racer, or else he's gonna be very blocked by that racing point car.
I'm gonna say F1 Racer is gonna pit, and he does.
He's gonna pit.
Gets out
and
of the
now
way,
these two will elevate into first and second because Fire Up Flow is also pitting onto the hard compound tire. Very interesting.
Yeah, so I think after these two make their pit stop, Fire Flow and F1 Racer, we'll kind of see where the order is. But Juan, Blinn, Robin Hood, they all just made their pit stops for the hard tire, so they're good to the end of the race. So Blinn Machine, he made up quite a few places at the start, lost a few. Then, as the Alfa Romeo of Lazo tries to go around the outside of Fire Up Flow, doesn't quite make it stick.
Steven might make some contact with Same TJ. Sorry to interrupt you there.
You're good. There's so much action going on at the same time. It's crazy, man.
There is a ton of action going on. You're absolutely correct. And I even want to talk about the history you were talking about as well, 2007 Hamilton. But this is not a good time, I guess. When we have a chance, we can maybe talk about that. But also, I want to quickly mention Blinn for a second. Did you see exactly what happened to him? Something happened, I do believe, at turn 13. Maybe just got too much turning in, or got not enough turning, or the power on too quickly. Drivers have done it before. What do you think happened to Blinn?
I'm not sure, to be honest. He might have lost it at turn 13. Maybe did like a pirouette or like a 180 or something. He just lost a ton of time. Maybe the tires overheated. He wanted to get off those mediums quite fast. So it's a shame because he was up for a good top 10. But as I said, F1 Racer is one to watch because he was obviously last season's class of the field, winning a ton of races and obviously winning the championship. But right now he's stuck down in P12 and he's 6 seconds behind Juan. So F1 Racer and Blinn Machine, who were the top two last season, they're not even in the points today so far. So we'll see if they can pull out something out of their hat and make it into the top 10. But so far it's Bamboo and Shokadia still top two, and they're still just glued together. I mean, 5 tenths. Just separated apart, which is fantastic. Another person I'm watching is who was it? Who finished in a Racing Point off? We think that is Taffer. Who finished in P2 last week at Bahrain? It was.
Do you believe it D-Swish?
D-Swish in the McLaren. So D-Swish
Yep.
is actually in P4. He's been making up positions because he did start, I think, what, P7, 8?
Yeah, something like that. I think he started like somewhere around there. So he's picking up a lot of positions.
Absolutely. And if Shokudi and Bamboo keep on fighting, they're going to slow each other down. So this is D-Swish's opportunity and also Rex's opportunity to really get up. And those were the top two last week. They could get past Shokudi and Bamboo if they're not careful.
And also Steven as well, closing
Steven
in on
as
those
well.
two.
Well, Steven's on the medium tire.
And he's on the medium, yes. He is on the medium tires. Those tires are going to start degrading. That might hurt his race quite a bit, but he's going to be faster. Yellow flag. Is that F1 Racer? Or
It's
Taffer.
Taffer.
Is that someone else?
Taffer's round
Taffer.
is on the grass. F1 Racer's just coming around to pass his teammate. Taffer doing the nice, respectable thing, just waiting until there's no cars coming, getting started again. But, you know, like once you spin on this game, especially with the harder compounded tire, as the Ferrari of same TJ goes past, it's super hard to get the temperatures down, and the wear just increases so much that, as you see right there, that's prime example of you've overheated the tires, you still have grass and dirt on the tires. He's got to be careful of the car behind. You watch it. But he's going to be very, very careful with those tires now, so what a shame. Oh, and another one. So he's having just a struggle with those tires. I think if I was him, I would get off those tires, put on the mediums, and just try to consolidate what I can for today. Motor City, though, in the pits. Probably another set of mediums.
And I think that's the right call from him to pit onto those medium tires because you don't want to pit. If you pit onto the hards now, it's not good. If you pit onto the softs now, that's also not good. So really interesting that he did pick up those mediums. I think that's the right call, definitely. Now, okay, I want to quickly talk about Mercedes and Alfa Romeo. I do believe, and you can refresh me if I was wrong, at Bahrain, those are the two teams that fought constantly during the race. Mercedes versus Alfa Romeo. That entire race, both drivers. And, of course, Motor City did pit, but for a while, it was Mercedes versus Alfa Romeo with both of their drivers. Was that Bahrain? I think, hopefully, it's not another league that I'm in. I think that was the same race that I'm thinking of, that the Alfa Romeo and the Mercedes did go side by side at, and they're doing it now. Was that correct?
I think so. I think it was Motor City and Fire Up, or Motor City and Goto. I think it was Motor City and Fire Up, though they had a really good battle last week at Bahrain, going side by side and just having the battle of their lives for most of the race, just swapping positions and stuff like that. So I think we're seeing a bit of that today, because Motor City is inside a Mercedes sandwich. Obviously, they're quite far apart, but as the tires wear down, they should close up. But Shoko D is still 5/10 behind. I don't know if he just can't close up and can't pass, or if he doesn't want to pass. Because obviously once you pass, then the person that you just passed is going to use ERS and use DRS to pass again, and you may just slow each other down. They may be working as a team here, even though they're on different teams, but to prevent Rex from closing up on them too fast. So Shoko D might be playing the smart, strategic game here, just trying to keep the gap between himself and Paz. Paz is 6.5 seconds behind, so let's keep an eye on that. And if it starts closing down, then that is definitely something to watch. D-Swish, though, is only 2.6 seconds behind Paz or Rex. So those gaps are quite important. That's at this point in time. Obviously, D-Swish is fighting for a podium. If he can get a double podium from last week to this week, that would play, huge benefit in the championship standings for him. So he's probably just trying to drive his own race, not make any mistakes,
I think you're definitely correct. It's going to be really interesting to see how those Rex and D-Swish play it out for possibly a double podium for both of them in the race. But what's interesting that you were talking about Bamboo and Shoko D, are they working as a team? I definitely think that actually is possible. And because I'm riding on board with Shoko D at the moment, and I'm wondering why he's not overtaking Bamboo yet. Because I was thinking maybe it is something to do with time, like he just doesn't have enough time. I think that does have a part to play, but it's also maybe Shoko D is using Bamboo as a pole to get him further up. But he's got to be able to consistently stay up with that Renault, and it doesn't look like he's putting a lot of pressure, like taking different lines to make sure that he tries to get past, like looking to make a dive bomb, something like that. To make that move for first, but I'm not exactly sure. We'll have to see how that plays out. But we do have to admire Rex's pace at the moment. Third place at the moment, looking really strong. As Motor City just at the fastest lap of the race. Mercedes and Alfa Romeo my goodness, what a battle they've had for everything almost. For battling on track and for times. I mean, Fire Up Float is at the fast lap race. Then it went to Motor City. Alpha versus Mercedes this season. I'm calling it. We'll have to see how that works out. But look at this. F1 Racer defending very brilliantly against Steven, but not quite yet because Steven's got the better traction out of that corner and gets past. I think Steven did pit from 5th place. So
yeah, he put on the new set of mediums. He's good at the end.
Yep.
So he definitely has the pace advantage of tires over F1 Racer. Going back to Shokadi and Bamboo, I was looking at the ERS. Shokadi has, 90 pretty much full ERS now that he's breaking into the hairpin. Full ERS, so he's not used anything this race or managed it brilliantly. Bamboo has around 70%, so I wonder if Shokadia is just, as we see a spin, and that might be Enrique.
That is Enrique.
Yeah. So Shokadia might just be using the slipstream just to kind of stay with him and then just time it right to make that attack. It's like a lion searching for its prey in the wild. You don't want to show yourself first. You want to be very, very sneaky, and then at the right moment just pounce, and he's going to catch Bamboo unawares. So we'll see if that is his plan. I'm sure Bamboo has that in the back of his mind and is trying to plan for that attack. But if I was Bamboo, I'd be a bit nervous, and I would prefer to be the attacker than being attacked at this point.
Well, yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see how that battle plays out, see how Shokadi can maybe catch up to Bamboo. But what's interesting is that they are losing a little bit of time to Rex. Rex is now back up to actually 7 seconds to these guys. But is this going to play into the hands of Rex? Not exactly sure. And
it's D-Swish actually making time on Rex.
And he is.
Yeah, D-Swish is only less than 2 seconds now. I just dipped into the 1.9 second gap to Rex. So he's sniffing up a podium.
Well, what's interesting too is that D-Swish has the pace, and actually he can close up to first place if he has the capabilities of doing so. 10 laps to go. This is going to be interesting to see who actually wins this race, because these two are catching up to the top two. And also we got Fire Up Flow. Got to talk about him for a second. 4-lap old hard tires. He's close up to that battle. He's got a chance of getting a podium here, and he really does, because these guys are on older tires than that Mercedes driver, so it's going to be really interesting. But going back to Shokadi, though, he is planning for this, and like you said, a lion waiting to pounce, as he actually makes a mistake there and loses a lot of time, and that's exactly what I was going to explain real quick, because if he's got to be able to be consistent, and I know he's trying. I think that's what we're trying to figure out here, and I think that we're both correct here. That he is waiting for that right moment to pounce on Bamboo, because like you said, and like I said, if he does pass him, he's just going to have the driver behind, which would be Bamboo, is just going to have the ERS to get past him once again. So I think he's playing this into his hands, but he's got to remember that he's got to keep up with Bamboo. He's got to keep that pace consistent to be able to make that move, because if he's too far behind and he loses like a tenth each lap, then that's not going to play into his hands at all when it comes to that place to pounce on that Renault car.
Yeah, absolutely. And so we'll go on board with D-Swish. I want to mention that D-Swish, no, not D-Swish. I'm sorry, Fire Up Flow. On board with Fire Up Flow. Fire Up Flow, he last season to season 9. He had one podium finish in Monaco, which was a 3rd place. Definitely a unique track, unique circumstances. So he'll be looking. He's in a good position though to possibly even get P4, maybe P3. But it just seems like D-Swish has the pace on him. But Fire Up Flow putting in a really good performance. Then on board with Mr. D-Swish. He could not continue in season 9, unfortunately, due to some work conflicts. But yeah, he did finish in P2 last week and looking to make a statement today. And then on board with Rex, it seems it's 7.5 second gap now, 7.6. So it was 6.5 about 3-4 laps ago. So he is losing some time, unfortunately. So I don't think he'll be able to battle for the top 2. But Rex is... Where's he at? He did race in Season 8 in the Silver class. I think he took Season 9 off. So it's good to have him back. Good return in TCR. And he's definitely showing why he belongs in TCR. And he's, again, just put in really good performance. So I expect him to be a championship contender throughout the season.
It definitely is something to consider. I mean, like, a lot of these guys are doing really good this season. Rex in particular, I mean, like, took that win, Bahrain, and looking for a podium finish and maybe more. And of course, he's been really doing good throughout a lot of seasons. Of course, he raced in season 8, as you said, and now I do believe he took a break for season 9, and then season 10 now. So, is he looking to get that championship victory? Do you think he's going to put a little bit more time into consistently getting a good result? As a virtual safety car, first virtual safety car of the race.
What happened? I wonder. I'm trying to see on the map where it could have happened. I don't see anything. And as I say that, Motor was just about to make a pass on F1 Racer for the last points-paying position in P10.
I saw that too.
So Motor is going to be... this is actually a really good chance for everybody to save their ERS. And I bet you Shoka D might have said, maybe I should have used a bit more of my ERS before. I can save a bit now under the virtual safety car, save some fuel, and then definitely run in rich more often. That'll give you some extra power boost in your engine side of the car. So just a bit of a breather for these top two, and then they'll resume battle here shortly. And then again, as we said, Motor City is looking to make a pass on F1 Racer. F1 Racer, I think, yeah, I'm not sure if this is just not a strong track for him. It's a favorite track for a lot of drivers. Personally, I'm not a fan of it. I've grown to like it, but it's not one of my preferred tracks to race on. I definitely prefer Bahrain over this, but I know a lot of drivers, possibly yourself, Broomhandle, that prefer China to Bahrain. So I don't know if I'm just the odd one out, the weird one, but it seems F1 Racer is maybe he's agreeing with me that he doesn't like China too much today.
But yeah, China's a very difficult track in my opinion. So I've had a different story with things. I've had a lot of bad luck. I do believe my first league season I was ever in, I got 5 drive-through penalties here due to nothing.
That's
that was And then the next race I raced here had another very interesting thing where I overtook someone in the final lap of the race, the final corner. I do believe it was for like 5th or 6th position, and it got a 30-second time penalty. So I've had a lot of bad luck around here, but China as a whole races the circuit, of course, in many games. Love the circuit itself. I think it's a very complex circuit that you have to be very precise with. Like Singapore, in my opinion.
Oh, same spun. Sorry, TJ.
Oh, yep, I saw that too. TJ did spin at the corner. And Blin as well, I do believe. He must have had a yellow flag there at the S10 section for China. But yeah, China itself, in my opinion, it's a very hard circuit, but it's like circuits like Singapore, where you have to be very consistent with every single thing, very precise with every single move you do. And of course, Singapore is a much harder circuit, in my opinion, than this one because of all the walls and all that sort of thing. But I mean, China, a circuit that you have to be very consistent with, very precise with every single move. Strategy is a big place. A big thing that you can play out here. I mean, Daniel Ricciardo proved that in 2018. Was kind of sit behind that top 5 positions. Was running in 6th for quite a while. Hit under, I do believe it was a safety car midway through the season, or midway through the race, sorry. And just went on a charge to take that race win, and second to last win in Formula 1 to date. So strategy is a big thing around here. And yeah, it's really interesting. Quick bit of history around here. Did you know that Michael Schumacher took his very last win here back in 2006? Of course, a 7-time world champion, most historic driver in Formula 1.
I remember that. And I was a little kid watching that, and I was excited because it was obviously like the wet conditions, the intermediate conditions, and obviously the Bridgestone versus Michelin, huge battle and whatnot. And certain parts of the race, the Renault was faster than the Ferrari. Certain parts of the race where it was more dry, it was the Ferrari, the Bridgestone tire that was faster than the Michelin tire. I do remember my favorite overtake of that race, and we'll just talk about this and when I get back to the battle because it's closing up between Shoka D and Bamboo. My favorite overtake, though, was Schumacher going down the inside of turn 1 on the curb, like literally on the grass, to pass Fisichella for the race win. And that's actually what I think got him that win. That was unbelievable. I mean, I think he probably would have gotten it anyway, but that was just one of my favorite passes that I've seen. I mean, it was this all or nothing. I mean, because if you put yourself on the AstroTurf, the curb could have easily spun out, but he had that just, got to risk it to win it, and it made it work. So, but yeah, that was one of my favorite races.
Yeah, it was a really interesting race, the Chinese Grand Prix. I personally actually never saw it because I was 2 years old. So
you missed out. You got to go back and watch it.
I did actually. I did watch a little bit. I researched that sort of thing. Researched that races. Shoka D left the session. We'll quickly go back to what we were thinking. Shoka D left the session. He was in second place. Oh my goodness!
It might be a disconnect, but his car is still behind Bamboo. I don't know if that's a glitch. We're gonna see now if it's actually on board with him. He's using overtake. I'm gonna try and
invite him real quick.
Okay. He's using overtake. He's using DRS. I don't know if it's the Shoko D bot is actually now like making moves or something, but. Yeah, I want to say it's his AI driving. He's being very precise, and it looks like AI driving. That's such a shame, and if we can get him back, then hopefully he can resume, because he's not losing too much time, but it already is at 1.2 seconds gap. And that AI bot is draining his ERS.
And it is, yeah, and even this could hurt his strategy completely, his race completely.
And this could put him in danger for P3, because Rex is now only 5 seconds away. So Rex used to be 7 seconds or 7.5 seconds. He's gaining massive amount of time. So if we can get Shoko D back as quickly as possible, that might save him P2. D-Swish is now 1.8 seconds behind. Fire Outflow is now beneath the 2-second mark behind D-Swish. So the battle for the podium is on. And with only 4 laps to go, it's going to heat up, and these drivers the mistakes are creeping in, as we saw Fire Outflow just locking up going wide. That's not going to help his case. F1 Racer is now back inside the top 10, and Blend Machine, well, 16 seconds behind. I don't think Blend Machine's going to finish top 10 today, unfortunately. What a great start from him, but unfortunately a possible mistake forced him onto the softer tire on lap 4, lap 5. That might have been a pit stop error, but that kind of sealed the deal for no points today, unfortunately.
I'm sorry, I was just inviting Shoko D back. I tried to get him in here. We'll see if he does. So apologies for watching if you're watching my stream, and I had to go away for a second. And apologies for not being here for a second, but I'm officially back.
No problem.
Sorry, I missed what you said real quick. What would you say? What did you say just now?
Oh, the podium places P3, P4, P5 is definitely on. D-Swish and Fire Flow are making progress. Said that Blue Machine, just unfortunate that it didn't work out for him today. The strategy, possibly a pit stop error going onto the soft tire on lap 4 or lap 5. So he'll be looking to make a comeback next week in Japan. Just quickly want to actually mention our affiliate sponsor with only 3 laps to go. We are affiliate sponsor with Fanatec. So if you're watching, thank you so much for watching. The majority of our drivers, about 70% of our drivers, do have Fanatec gear. So if you want to definitely support, Fanatec is definitely some good equipment. I have Fanatec myself. I know a lot of drivers. I don't know about you, Broomhandle, but Gen X has now left the session. But thank you so much, Fanatec, for being our affiliate sponsor. We definitely appreciate it, and it's made our racing and TCR fantastic over the past few seasons, and we look forward to continuing that sponsor affiliation. Another shout out to our Golden class, which runs tomorrow night for round 2 of season 10. They'll also be racing at China. Golden class races just with the racing line, but they do not race with the medium traction control or the ABS, unlike silver. So tune in tomorrow night at 8:15 Eastern for the Golden class, and then capping it off for this week on Thursday with the Platinum class, the pinnacle of TCR. We'll have that running as well, and that actually runs with no assists and no racing line. If you haven't checked out the stream from last week from Bahrain, that was an absolute cracker. I mean, it was just action from nonstop, from start to finish. And myself, I'll actually be racing in on Thursday for Platinum class, hoping to have a better race. I think the safety car kind of played a part in some results last week. We had 2 safety cars last week, actually, but it's all to play for, tomorrow and Thursday, especially with the weather, possibly playing a role. It could rain tomorrow or Thursday, so definitely tune in for that. But if you've been watching, sticking with us tonight, we thank you so much for watching. It's been really, really good battle between the top 2, as Shoko D is now in P2, but Rex, he's right behind Shoko D. I don't know. There's 3 laps to go, and I really, really feel for Shoko D. I mean, he put in an absolute stonker of a performance today, and he is going to get just overtaken by, I think, Rex, D-Swish, and Fire Flow. So that's a podium missed out potentially. But that's a shame.
Okay. And Shoko D actually did join the session, but he has not gotten in his car yet. This has played into Rex's hands completely. Oh. And another driver as well, D-Swish and Fire Flow closing in. This is looking to be a phenomenal second place finish for all 3 of these guys. all four of these guys actually, a second battle, but Rex all over the back of Shoko D. This is going to be an absolute battle. Overtake on, but he barely has anything, but it won't matter. DRS has been enabled for that Haas car, and he goes to the outside. Is he going to switch to the inside line? Not quite yet. He actually goes to the outside, down the inside, and makes the move, it looks like. And the Haas car has passed. Shoko D up in the second place for that Haas car. Shoko D looks like he may have rejoined the session. Looks like he's rejoined the section. I can tell. He definitely has. D-Switch, though, battling away. Oh, no, actually, he hasn't joined the section.
He's not in his car. He's not in his car.
He
may not know like how to get back in his car. It may not allow it. I'm not sure. But this is painful to watch because I've much respect for the drive he put in today with Bamboo, and it seems like a battle and a P2 robbed from him. That's not intentional. Almost reminds me of Leclerc with his issues in Bahrain of 2019.
Mm-hmm.
It's so unfortunate.
That as well.
Yeah.
That was a big shocker, and I'm a full Leclerc fan, and that race was probably the biggest downfall for myself. Literally tore off my Ferrari hat that I was wearing and threw it on the ground. But that race was very hard. Of course, Leclerc had that issue on with 11 laps to go, I do believe. And lost out to both Mercedes.
There's only a lap and a half left to go, and I don't know what D-Swish and Fire Up Flow are thinking because, I mean, it's kind of interesting because you would think D-Swish would make a move immediately, and then he's got Fire Up Flow right on his rear. So
and Fire Flow! Oh my goodness! Almost lost it. Looks like Shoko D has actually rejoined the session, and Shoko, if you don't know how to get in, I'll quickly tell you real quick over the stream if you're watching. Just go into the settings, into the
spectator menu, and then
mode.
Go to your car, press X, take control. Please take control.
Exactly. Yep, this is the final lap of the race. Bamboo starts it. Incredible race he's had. I would right on board with him, but this battle for third position is absolutely incredible, and it might change right here. D-Switch goes to the outside line and sweeps into third place. Fire Up Flow all over the back of these guys as well, and it really has been robbed from Shoko D here. That second place and could have been first place has really hurt here today.
Oh, absolutely. I've actually lost timing on my screen as well. I only have got any weave and Steven times for the interval. So now Motor City pops up as well. But what a race for all these drivers, really. But let's go on board with Bamboo. Nothing to take away from his fantastic, pretty much flawless drive today. I mean, from start to finish, that man has put in the performance of his life and is going to get a win today, barring any weird circumstances. I mean, he has ERS. He has 68% of his ERS left. I mean,
he's got to use it.
Talk about management, But he's been the class of the field today. I mean, good for him. He finished in P3 last week in Bahrain, so it's going to be a back-to-back podium finish for him, a win today, and he must be feeling absolutely fantastic at this point, coming up to the final hairpin, coming up to the final corner.
He's feeling phenomenal. I think this is going to be a fantastic win here today. Do you want to take the race celebration as it comes across the line? Do you want me to do it?
Well, here it is. Bamboo takes the win for round 2 in China. What a drive from him. Solidifies P1, and that's got to be P1 in the championship for sure. Rex coming around into P2. Really good drive from him. Looks like Shoko D finished P5, unfortunately, just behind Fire Up Flow and D-Swish. But D-Swish finished as P3, so... the championship battle between D-Swish and Bamboo is really going to pick up, and even Rex is going to be up there as well. So I think those top 3 are showing why they finished top 3. I think 2 weeks in a row, because I think it is actually the same podium finishers.
Yeah, phenomenal race.
Actually.
It is the same. It just in almost reversed grid there. Rex finishes in second, D-Switch in third, and Bamboo in first. What a race, and actually that is the same grid, so we have not had a driver besides those 3 take the podium, so we'll move on to the next round at round number 3, I believe, for Japanese Grand Prix. But yeah, what a race here today. Bamboo wins the Chinese Grand Prix for round number 2 at the TCR Season 10 Championship. Rex, what a phenomenal performance from him as well, taking that second place, climbing through the field. D-Swish up to third. We're talking about he was probably going to get a podium, and he's shown today that he has. Fire Up Flow Oh, what a great performance from him today. Mercedes takes fourth with Shoka D in fifth position. And Lazo for Alfa Romeo Racing takes sixth place with Godini Weave in seventh. Steven comes home for eighth position with Motor City in ninth. And F1 Razor rounding off the top 10 in 10th position for Racing Point F1 team. What a race, though. I mean, phenomenal race. The game usually gives the driver of the day, but if you were to pick a driver of the day for you, who would you say is, as Fire Up Flow actually does get that driver of the day?
I would say either Fire Up Flow, D Swish, or Shoka D. Obviously, Shoka D started in P1, dropped down to P5, but the way he drove that race, I think, was phenomenal. But I would have to give it to probably Fire Up Flow, because he started kind of like towards the bottom end of the top 10, and he made his way up to P4? Yeah, P4.
Mm-hmm, he did.
So I would say he's probably my driver of the day. I like that new Codemasters selfie on the podium. It's quite funny, quite cool. And it's the champagne.
It is the champagne here today. For
good for those
3.
drivers. Yeah, absolutely.
What a race.
What a race from all
our drivers. Same here. I really am. I mean, like, what a race we've seen here today. Bahrain showed that it had phenomenal racing. It's shown here today once again here at the Chinese Grand Prix for the Shanghai International Circuit. What a race, though. A phenomenal race from all three of our drivers. Phenomenal race, really is. There's nothing. I'm kind of speechless. There's nothing else to say. Just a incredible job for every single one of our drivers here today. I'm going to quickly go invite the top 3 so we can get them in here.
Yep.
And hopefully we can get them in here for a quick interview.
Sounds good.
Give me 1 second so you can continue commentating while I do that real quick.
Yep, just running through the results. We actually had 4 DNFs. We had Gen X, Taffer, Coleman, and Dorian Alpha. Dorian Alpha, I don't think he made it very far in the race. I don't recall seeing him at all. So, shame to see him down there in P19. But
unfortunate result, yes.
What
it was
a race. What a race. So, yeah, as we're inviting the top 3 for their thoughts on the race, their comments. It seems like in the chat that TJ said he was sorry to Bolin about the contact, so that might have been why Bolin had dropped down a little bit and had to make that pit stop on lap 4. They might have gotten stuck together or something. So yeah, Bolin Machine saying, "Oh man, that started off really well, but then it was just downhill from lap 3." So yeah, he'll be looking to make a comeback next week in Japan. For sure.
I'm just going to quickly invite these guys. So guys will watch my stream just 1 second.
Hopefully my game just didn't glitch or crash because it says communicating with online services, and it's been doing that for about 10 seconds now. Here we go. Come on, Cody's going back to communicating.
And real quick before we head into all these interviews that we're going to do real quick. You mentioned it in the race as well. Tune in for next time, just tomorrow on Wednesday. I do believe you said 8 o'clock EST or 5 o'clock PST for the Golden Class Chinese Grand Prix. That's going to be a phenomenal race. And then there's just the day after will be the Platinum Class race, which will be a phenomenal race as well. So look forward to both of those races. Tune in for those on the channel and subscribe to the channel as well. Really incredible channel that they have. So anyway, continue on.
Absolutely. Yeah, just waiting for the top 3. But yeah, that that race had all the action. And if I do some calculations, I think so Bamboo won, but he finished P3 last week in Bahrain. So that would put him at, I think, 40 points. No. Where's the driver standings?
And we do have Rex here into the booth.
Yeah. So Bamboo, he had 15, so 25. Yeah, that'd be 40.
Hey,
Rex
hello,
finished
guys.
P2.
Hello.
Hey. 18 points. I think Rex would actually take the lead of the championship.
Yeah, I can have Dorian with me just for the translate. It's more easy for me.
Okay.
Yeah, can we get Dorian in here? Broom handle.
Thanks.
Yep.
Yeah, give me 1 second.
And then, let's see, who finished in P3? That was D-Swish, right? So D-Swish, P3, 15. Yeah, Rex, I think you actually take the lead of the championship. That's awesome. So we'll
Give
get
me
we'll get
1 second, guys.
not a problem. Take your time.
Just gonna quickly invite Dorian Alpha in here.
Man.
All right, he has been invited, and we'll just wait to see if he gets in here.
Okay.
But yes, what a race here today. Chinese Grand Prix always bring in some phenomenal races. But we have Dorian Alpha here. Dorian, could you translate for Bamboo? Is that possible?
Is it
All
Bamboo
right.
or is it Rex?
I do believe it's Bamboo.
It is Bamboo. Okay. Sorry, man.
No problem.
All right, well, so let's start off with Bamboo, our race winner here today. Phenomenal race for you, Bamboo, taking the win. How does it feel?
J'ai compris, je vais te dire. Alors, j'ai fait la qualification, elle s'est bien passée. Après, j'ai fait un super départ pendant la course. J'ai eu une bataille vraiment intense avec Chocodia. Et c'est juste dommage qu'il ait bugué à la fin parce que c'était vraiment une bonne bataille et c'était une bonne race. That's it.
Yeah,
Well, thank you.
absolutely. Yeah,
What?
I want to say, congrats, Bamboo, for taking the win. That was absolutely phenomenal. And as you said, it was quite a shame that that Shoko was disconnected. I think you guys had a really good battle, and I was really looking forward to seeing what would happen at the end. But amazing drive today. So congrats.
Thank you. Good.
All right, thank you so much for... Go
Yeah,
ahead.
well, one more question actually to
Oh, of
Bamboo.
course.
Since you had two podium finishes in a row, obviously third place last week in Bahrain and first place tonight in China, how do you think you're going to get on in Japan?
Oh, yes. I am happy with these two podium. I am so happy today to take my first victory.
Absolutely.
It's really great for me. And I like the Japan. I like the track, the technical track, like the Japan, and I think it's a nice track for me. It's a
Awesome.
good start for me.
Well, we wish you the best of luck, and you have actually two tracks that are quite technical coming up. You have Japan and Singapore, so we hope to see you on the podium again in those two races. But congrats! I think you are in second, I believe, or first for the championship. We'll have the results coming out here in the next few days. But thank you for talking to us, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you. Have a good night, guys.
Thank you. You too.
You as well. All right, well, it looks like we have our second place finisher. Rex, that was Bamboo on his result on the first place here today. And Dorian, thanks as well for translating. But Rex, second place here today. What a result for you today. Did you expect getting that second place? You took first at the first race at Bahrain, taking second here. You still lead the championship. Is it a dominant victory or dominant lead in the championship? And how did you feel about getting that second place?
Well, I definitely think second place is about as good as I could have expected to get today. Didn't quite get the qualifying result I wanted, but I think everything just kind of fell together just like it should have. But it's a real shame that Shakadia had to get disconnected. Otherwise, I would have finished in third. He was a good way up the road for me before he ended up getting disconnected. But as far as the championship goes, I don't think it's dominant at this point. Anything can happen. It's really early in the season, and I think it's going to be a hard fight. People like Bamboo or D-Swish have just as good of a chance at getting the title as I do. But, I'm going to fight as hard as I can, and we'll see how it goes.
Absolutely, yeah, really, really good drive, and like you said, shame that Shokudia had the disconnection, but you benefited from it, and I think you actually take the lead of the championship, which is great after round two. It's a really good start. It's a long season though, so you got 14 more races to put into more podium finishes and more wins. But how do you think you're going to get on in Japan?
Well, Japan is definitely going to be a track where I'm going to have to work a little harder for on the before the race because it's really not a track I get along with very well. But I mean, the same could be said for China. But you never know exactly how the race is going to go. But definitely going to have to put in a little extra time for that and just hope for the best.
Yeah, absolutely, and yeah, good job, man, and we'll see
Thank
you
you.
next week. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
All right, and it looks like we have our final podium finisher here today. D-Swish, welcome to the party real quick. Of course, that was Rex on his reaction to getting second and looking forward on as well as the championship. But D-Swish, what a result for you today. Finishing third, another podium from McLaren F1. Looking strong in constructors and drivers as well. You've proved that you went from the back of the grid to second place in the Bahrain Grand Prix, the opening session. Now China showed that you have the pace as well, not just in the race and quality as well. What's your thoughts on all of this? What's your thoughts on that unexpected third place that you took almost with a few just laps to go on Shoko D? What's your thoughts on all this?
D-Swish? Is he here?
I do believe he is here.
Maybe his mic is muted?
You might be muted. It could be... Give me 1 second, guys.
Oh, he's not in the party. Huh? That's what Blue Machine just said. He's not in the party.
Well, that's okay. That's how it goes. Well, hopefully we can get him for next time if he does finish on the podium. But yeah, what a result from all our drivers here today. Do you have any last words before we end off the stream, 007?
I'm tired. My voice is shot, and I'm gonna go get some water and get some food to rejuvenate. But God, what a race! I mean, if that was what we had tonight, then I can't wait to see what we have tomorrow night in Golden, and then Thursday night in Platinum. I think it's going to be a show to watch. So tune in tomorrow 8:15 for Golden class. Tune in on Thursday night for Platinum class. Get your drinks, get your popcorn. It's going to be one to watch. So we'll see everybody tomorrow night as well. But if you've been tuning in for the stream today, thank you so much for watching. It's been a pleasure. Broomhandle, it was great to commentate with you today on China, and I hope that we can do some more commentary in the future, hopefully next week and the weeks after. So thank you so much for joining me tonight.
Yeah, thank you so much for commentating with me. It was a pleasure to commentate with you. A real fun race that we witnessed here today. Like 007 said, tune in for next time. At the next Silver Grand Prix, which will be next week on Tuesday. And, of course, for tomorrow and Thursday's race at Golden class and at Platinum class. That's going to be phenomenal races at China. But from here, we'll see you for next time at the round number 3 at the Japanese Grand Prix. That'll be a phenomenal race going, as we've seen in Bahrain and at China. It should be a phenomenal race at Japan. Guys, subscribe to the channel if you'd like to see more content that these guys put out. They have a phenomenal channel. All that sort of thing. So subscribe to the channel, like the video if you enjoyed it, and guys, thank you so much for watching. I'm Broomhandle, joined by 007 for the Season 10 TCR Championship of round number 2 at the Chinese Grand Prix. We'll see you next time for the Japanese Grand Prix at round number 3 in just a week's time for Silver Class, of course. All right, see you next time. Goodbye.
Absolutely. Thanks, guys. Good night. Take care.